Entrepreneur, Audacity, audacious. Now they're watching.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Entrepreneur Audacity. Today is pretty exciting because I am joined from, we are joined with Lukas, who is currently sitting in Germany. So you're actually the first guest out of the pool of international guests that's coming on the podcast, Lukas. So Thank you. I'm super excited about this episode. And yeah, can you please give us an intro for yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much, Angie. Welcome everybody from the sunny morning out of Germany. I'm currently back home and enjoying the German summer. Before we talked, I came from also Australia, lived there the last 2 years in Melbourne, now I'm here back home for a little summer break. One of my best friends get married here, and then my travel journey will continue. So I left Germany 5 years ago. Before that, I studied here in fitness economics. And until then, I started my own business as a first personal trainer. And then COVID happens. It was my blessing because I have to digitalize my complete service. Ended up as an online coach, fitness online coach. And since then I moved out from Germany 5 years ago and traveled the world.
I love that. And we connected through Instagram, and how good is social media for that ability? So
love it.
Gosh, I love it as well. Can you tell us a little bit, take us back to 5 years when you were leaving Germany and like when you first initially kind of went into business, or sorry, you were doing business before you left Germany, but when...
It was quite clear for me since I'm like very young that I want to be my own chef, my own boss, and I want to do some selfish stuff. So when I was young, I already had this dream of being independent and free. I want to see the world. So this was clear for me at a very young age. And then I have to figure out a way how to do that. So it was, I was looking at my interests. So since I'm growing up, I'm into sports. I played soccer in Germany. I went into jiu-jitsu. It's martial arts. It's like a mix out of judo and karate. That brought me to Japan. We will maybe end up later on my Japan chapter. Let's see. So this was my first interaction with fighting, what also brought me into bodybuilding because I had to gain weight in sense of doing the weight caps, the weight classes I'm fighting into. So I was a very, very skinny boy in my young days and I had to gain weight. So I started bodybuilding just to gaining muscles and putting weight on. And I felt in love with the process of building muscle, but especially self-improvement. So I saw, okay, this is nice. You can change the way how you look, and you see also different doors in life opens up when you look different, because it's like it's your first impression. And I guess this is also why the fitness industry nowadays had such a big potential, because it opens you doors what wasn't opened before. So I went into bodybuilding when I was like 18 years old. I finished my school, and I was dedicated to do something on my own. So this brought me into the in the fitness industry, and I studied fitness economics here in Germany, in Cologne. But since these days, I could already felt that I didn't fit in the culture, the society in Germany. I'm not sure. Maybe most of you listeners are probably not from Germany, so I will give you a sneak peek into German mentality. German mentality is kind of very serious about life. We are complete obsessed with work. We are identify ourselves with the things we're doing every single day, what is mostly work. So you get reduced of your job and stuff like this. And it's quite, I never felt that this is the place where I have to be. So I was planning to move out to Austria, to Vienna. It was plan A because in Vienna, there's like an kind of a university, especially for strength coaches, where I did my a kind of other degree for like sports, fitness, and all this kind of stuff. And I had a little friend, little couple friends of me there already. I met one nice guy, and we already, planned to move there together. So we already had a flat together there booked. Everything was good. And then, COVID happens, and I couldn't move out to Vienna as planned originally. So after that, everything was locked down for a tough year here in Germany. I already had a little bit of, quite amount of clients what I'm working with in a PT setup, so personal training, see these guys each and every week, but we couldn't train anymore. So I started my own, PT gym, little area in the back of my parents' house, in the garden house. So this was completely illegal at this day. You couldn't do anything at all. So
oh yes, we remember those times.
It was. How was it in Australia, in Perth? Was also quite crazy, I guess.
Oh, I don't know what. Well, so I moved to Perth probably just after the main part of COVID kind of went through, and I was in Darwin for the first round of it, or the initial impact rather. And Darwin is very unique because we were just having like COVID parties to all the things. So they're like, don't do this. It's we're a small city. Like everyone's super chill. So, we didn't really have they were really strict with the borders and stuff. So there wasn't really too much impact. Everything was like, don't do this. But because we hadn't had any cases, it was kind of BAU. We were just like work from home, do stuff like,
Wow, that sounds way more chill. But I think Australia is that big, and maybe it's harder to control than this little place in Germany. Everyone's watching you. And this is also what I realized when I lived in Australia. The areas and the land you have so much space there. Your guys are so free. And when you're here in Germany, in whole Europe, the infrastructure of the cities are so needy and tight, and this is very, very hard. You live on your neighbor's pathway. It's like, wow, that is dear.
Yeah, it's different. And you don't get, I've traveled a lot, so I understand that. But when people haven't actually traveled out of Australia, they have this misconception that everywhere is very much the same. And it's a real culture shock when you go to places and it's like... holy damn, what is going on here?
This is so crazy.
I can only imagine. I haven't actually been to Tokyo. And I say yet because I do have a guest who's coming on from Tokyo. So
nice.
I feel like there might be a little adventure there. But over there, I feel like it would be really different as well, just like the living scenarios. And I know that the way that they do business and stuff over there is like,
yes, completely.
Great as well. So.
Yeah, super, super interesting. I guess Japan in general, the culture, and especially the business culture, like I'm currently learning Japanese since the last 2 years. And you have to speak a kind of a different language, what you only speak in like the business setup. It's like very, very unique there. And super, super interesting in general.
I love that. Okay, you've just given us a little shred of gold. Can you talk to us a bit more? So you've started your fitness journey, left Germany, gone to Japan. I feel like we've jumped a little bit, but now this has kind of come up. If I don't ask them, I forget it. What is the transition like going from business in one country to business in another country? Because I know, and I've interviewed people who have only done business in one country, like Australia, but what was the shift like? Because, you mentioned that there's a different language that you have to speak. What else did you kind of find with that?
Like what I already spoke a little bit before, like the mentality, like German mentality, especially business-wise, it's very... the trust building process is way more harder in Germany, and I guess also in Japan. This is quite similar. So it's very interesting. Like business mentality in Germany and Japan is quite similar, but compared to English speaking countries like America, Australia, also the UK, people are way more chilled with doing business with you. So for example, like I guess from my perspective, like selling stuff to to people is way easier in Australia, in America or the UK. But in Germany, the people are more serious or more curious. They normally buy easier in person from you. Online thing is still in Germany and I guess in Japan. I mostly can speak for German for that, but it's quite it's a gray zone. They are not completely keen with it, but we know we have to adapt to to nowadays, to the digital world. But they are not like, I don't know. They're a little bit like, very, very serious about stuff like this. So this is definitely a big thing. On the other hand, I guess Germans are very, very straight with all the things. So when they are locked in for something and they are say, I'm doing that, they are proper keen with it. It's not like I made up my mind and I pull back or stuff like this. So this is like the value or the weight of the word you have in Germany or in the German mentality and German culture is heavier, I guess, as overseas compared to that.
Yeah,
So
some countries are a bit more flaky.
Yes.
You know, Aussies, and I say that because I've been a flaky person. I've got friends who are flaky, and it's just one of those things that, and the dynamic of, when you do sell to people in Australia or, like more Western cultures.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I'm going to do this. And they're like, you're saying that just to get me on the phone or like just to get me to leave me alone. You're not going to follow through with it, which makes like sales and the way that you structure and the way you approach business really different. Because, I'm a really straight shooter, so I really appreciate it when people are like, yes or no. And you're like, great, I can move on with my life.
Yes, yes. Yeah, they are not that flippy-floppy. Like, yes. Yeah. Very often I ended up in Australia living there and you was like at a family party, whatever, and you have like a chat with a nice guy. He was like, oh my God, you're a fitness coach. I'm looking for a fitness coach, whatever. I want to do coaching, blah, blah, blah. And then, 2 days later, nah, maybe not.
Yeah. So going back to your business journey, what were some of the challenges that you faced when you initially kicked all of like this off with your fitness?
Yes. I would say... probably the first thing is just get started. So in my perspective, like the first step you have to take is the biggest and the hardest. After, if this is like you building up a momentum and all of that, it's quite easy, I would say. But the beginning, like when you have to start at scratch, you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do. And you just have, mostly it's just hard to start the movement, but if it's kicked off and you going through, then I would say it's a little bit like everything, it comes together. It just makes sense. Like the longer you are on this road and the more you don't give up and you just keep walking, the more it comes that it lines up. So I guess the first thing is just to start and don't give up, and you will fall and you will fail, and the more often you fall and fail, the quicker you learn. So this is also a thing what I definitely learned from my business background, that you have to fail. Like failing is a part of the process. You will never be successful without failing. And I guess this is also what scares a lot of people. They are scared about failing and they don't realize how necessary it is, because I learned the most, or we all learned the most of our failures instead of our successes. So if you have a success, you don't get any feedback of where you can improve. But if you fail, you know pretty precisely, okay, this part I messed up, and in this part I can improve for the next time. It's
a very important aspect of being an entrepreneur that so many people want to avoid. And I can understand why we want to avoid it. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. So if it's like, hey, you're going to sign up for this thing and you're probably going to fuck it up, and you're like, I don't want to do that. It doesn't sound fun at all. But when you have the audacity to go into business and become an entrepreneur, like you've got to accept that you're going to get put in the ringer sometimes.
100%. Yeah.
So do you have any examples of like times where you maybe like got smacked in the face by a situation, you were like, I want to give up?
Yeah, sure. So what I said before, so when we had a lockdown and I opened my yeah backyard garden
The
gym at my
illegal
parents' house.
backyard gym.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I already was in the phase of planning to open up a local gym here close by. So I looked at some facilities, and I was planning, and I was like fired up, and then yeah, COVID happens, and I was like smashed in the face, and I was like, no, this is not the way to go. So I definitely want to do that because like I felt so insecure with my planning capacity because like the government just can lock down your whole business and that's it. So it was immediately a realization for me that I will never do at this point like open a shop or store or something what is like placed here. And I immediately make the decision, okay, I want to be free, local, like place wise. I don't want to put me down on just one place. And down the track, it also was the biggest blessing for me because it's quite interesting. I just met one of my best friend yesterday, and we have the complete similar, coaching background. So we're starting our own coaching businesses completely the same, and he went down the other track. So he bought some facilities here. He opened up, similar like a gym, like a micro gym, we would say, like a little studio. And it's flourished. It was beautiful, but we just could see that since what I said before, I have this intrinsic wish of seeing the world moving out. Like a facility like this will keep me down and let me stuck here. So from my perspective right now, I see it as like probably a good blessing that I couldn't open up something because it will chain me on Germany what I truly didn't want it. Yeah.
I love that point. And it's a beautiful thing, right? Because often when we have these intentions and then what we had planned goes sideways,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you're kind of like, hang on a second, what am I going to do now? That was my whole business model. That was my whole idea. But then, it sounds a little bit hippie, a bit woo, but I'm a
Yes.
big believer about like the universe will give you
100%.
the right direction. So
Yes.
when things do go wrong and you get that encouragement or like a redirection,
Yeah.
even though at the time it feels like just that sinking feeling in your
Yes.
gut, like, oh man, what am I going to do now? But then when you come out the other side of it, it's a beautiful thing because it's like, oh, hang on, you can realize that if I had done that, I would have been stuck there, So, and I love that there's differences with being an entrepreneur because, you can start a business and you might be like in the place where your soul is at home and it's like, I want to be here forever. It's great. Start a business at that location. Wouldn't make sense not to, right? But, we were talking before, we've got like wandering souls who want to see the world. And
Yes.
you've got to, you can create a business that allows you to do that. So, how many countries have you been able to travel to since you went online?
That's a good question. So, to put it in perspective, I grown up on the village side in Germany. So in this village where I'm actually right now, we have like 3,000 people living here. So super small. I grew up without any contact of the internet. So I was 15 years old when I have the first access to some internet kind of stuff. And I told my parents 3 years later that I will be an online coach and making online money. So everyone thought like I am completely crazy. So since today, my parents or my grandpa do not understand how I earn my money and what kind of stiff stuff I'm doing. So super out of space what I'm doing here right now. But then I moved out. I never moved out from Germany when I was young. So I grew up in a kind of construction class, middle class, working class family here. And the only way to make money here was working with your hands. So you can't do any stuff like online, whatever. So I moved out from Germany first time was like a holidays with the boys when I was 21, I guess. Yeah, I was 21. This was just to Bulgarian. And then 2-3 years later, the online rocket started. And from that one, I went to to Thailand because I compete in bodybuilding shows, and in Thailand on Phuket there was was a show I competed in. Because my ex-girlfriend at these days, she was from half Croatia, half Thailand, and her mother's side had a birthday there, so we have to visit the mother's side's birthday. And I thought like, okay, there's a bodybuilding competition, then I can compete in, so let's bring that together. So I ended up competing in Phuket in a bodybuilding show with the wish back on my mind to move out and to leave Germany. And like you said it before, like the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, wants to connect me with other German guys who also already moved out to Thailand. And then we connect with each other, and I make the decision, all right, goodbye Germany and hello Thailand, and I moved out to Thailand. Beginning to that, it was like a lot of travelings because then I started to compete more in Asia. So after Thailand, it was Vietnam, it was Japan, it was Australia, it was Malaysia and Bali, and I guess South Korea, yes, and then this was like my Asia travel for the last 3 years, I would say. So mostly I travel in Asia. And then I have to come back once a year to Germany because, like we said before, the Germans like you in-person contact especially in sales. So for me, it's good to show my face again here local-wise because, have a good customer relationship is quite good. And I come back to visit my family and friends once a year for 1 to 2 months. So we make a big welcome back party with all of the clients. We see each other again. It's very, very nice to have this contact, especially when you only work online. You miss this in-person contact. And it's a nice thing to reconnect with all of them. And then I combine it with some travels in Europe. So I visit Italy, Austria, I visit England last time, and just recently Spain, Marbella. So I have a Europe holiday, and mostly I live in Asia, somewhere in Asia.
Yeah. Awesome. That's really cool. And these are the possibilities of being an entrepreneur. And, we're not just saying that you need to be an online entrepreneur for this travel lifestyle to be a thing. You can absolutely have a business set somewhere and, travel around the world. But, I love the fact that you're your own boss, right? And when you become an entrepreneur, no one else gets to tell you when to eat lunch. Like you might be up working 16 hours a day.
Yes, you will not eat lunch. You don't have any time for it.
When even is lunch? But this is the beauty of it because you get to explore and work on your own terms. And so many people have that burning desire inside them, and it took you going overseas to compete in a bodybuilding show to meet other German men who had done exactly what you wanted to do. And sometimes all it takes is listening to the story of someone else who's done it to be like, oh,
yes, 100%.
Well, if they can do it, I can do it. And it's scary. There's so much fear. And, I think, and forgive me, I don't mean to be sexist with this comment, but it might come like that. But I feel like men dive into things a lot easier than women do, right?
100%.
We're definitely more fearful of stuff. And, I help women with confidence because luckily, I've a mum who is an absolute power horse of a woman, and I have adopted that trait. But I have a lot of friends, who aren't as confident as me. So, for me diving into stuff, I'm quite like, okay, 2 hands, let's go, see what happens. Nice. But so many people stall and they're like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to jump. And it's kind of like, hang on, what about all these people who are also jumping off this cliff? Just dive in, let's go.
Yes.
So one thing I did want to ask about, because you mentioned that you went into martial arts doing jiu-jitsu and you're doing that over in Tokyo. Now, because you're doing that, right? Hold on, let me phrase this question right. And I'd say this from the position when you go in to do martial arts and fighting, right? You are putting yourself in a position where you're going to get punched in the face, essentially.
Yes.
Can you give us any kind of lessons on fear and stepping into that environment that might also relate to becoming an entrepreneur?
Mhm. Yeah, I think mostly well, all your biggest fear is the door you have to open for your biggest growth. So I think, especially like martial arts, also bodybuilding, like things where's pain. So you need pain, and you need to leave your comfort zone for growth. And this is, I guess, the things what holds us back oftenly, and that we don't open up through potential, and we are stuck in this. Yeah, the bed is warm. I don't have to start my side business because, yeah, I'm good. I have food, I have shelter, I have water. I'm good. I'm fine. And to get ready and get out there, if you want to have more in life, you have to go through this uncomfortable situation of waking up early in the morning, but also on weekend days, don't go out for parties, staying on your diet and all of this stuff, because everything comes down to improving yourself. And when you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to improve on every different aspect of life. You can't lack your nutrition because cognitive function will miss out, and you can't miss out your sleep schedule. You can't miss out your fitness routine or whatever. So everything you have to improve comes down to you, because you will be the obviously main character of the company or the movement what you're building. And if you don't be your highest version of yourself, you will fall apart. So you have to, and in sense of creating this main character vibe and unleashing your potential, you have to do it over and over again. You never will settle, you never will reach the top and you will be done. So you have to be ready to experience pain over and over again. And this brings you, I guess, to the mentality what a lot of entrepreneurs will get out of this kind of, nowadays I'm looking for the next pain point. So I'm excited to jump in the cold water. I'm excited to do the early run, because I know it will brings me to the person I want to build to live all of that what I want to. So yeah, I think it's pain is it's a pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. It's very well said.
Poetic, yeah.
You know, there's growth in adversity, and when you are comfortable, you're comfortable. You're kind of like, all right, well,
Yes.
it's not really that bad. It's not really that great either, but you're kind of like, okay, well, we're just going along with the flow. And then sometimes, sometimes people actually get moments that everything goes wrong and basically the whole life goes up in flames, that they get pushed to do the things, or you get pushed into the scenario, and then it's just like, all right, well, now it's crunch time. But I love that you've gone from, embracing that fear. You're like, to the point of being like, where is the next pain point? Like, how can I get better? And, one thing that I love is your business is a reflection of you, right?
Yes.
And as you say, and it will expose all of the weak points that you're carrying too, which is why it's really important to look after like the foundational stuff, like your sleep, your nutrition, and just be in that constant growth cycle. Because, when you get complacent, you fail in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I know for myself, every time I've like have my foot on the gas and I'm making heaps of progress, as soon as I've been like, all right, cool, we can just have 5, and then it's just gone to shit. And I'm like, damn it, got to keep the pressure on. So is there anything that you actively do to make sure that you are, I know that you train, obviously you've got your martial arts, but is there anything else that you do routinely that kind of keeps you in that growth mindset?
Yes. So I have a strict morning routine, what holds me definitely on that kind of path. So I waking up, the first thing in the morning is like making sure that I'm hydrated. So I drink, my morning shake. After that, I do a meditation session. So I'm a big believer in ordering your thoughts. It helps you a lot to ordering your emotions, in order your actions and your outcome. So I doing like a 30 minutes deep meditation every morning. I have a toxic relationship with meditation before. So it was like an on-off relationship, I would say. First time I went into meditation just for like stress regulation for my competition prep. So I started competing in bodybuilding when I was 21, and everyone who went through like competition prep where you're physically touching like a near death experience kind of because your body fat is so low that your body just try to survive and you're literally like running on ground zero. You will know that it's not fun and it's pain, but it's also you just try everything to lower this stress. So I went into meditation, but I only did it when I was in prep and I was that high with my stress. And I felt that it was good, but it obviously like 30 minutes every day, it adds up and it costs a lot of time. So I went off during my off season when I was not in a competition state. And I started it since, now like consistence-wise since like 8 months since my last big life shift of my breakup. So since then, I'm very, very consistency and very deep with it, and it helps me a lot. I'm getting like a clear state of mind and getting fresh in the day. So this is definitely a big thing for me. After that, I do some mobility stuff to start the engine, to have a good start in the day. And I work out mostly each and every day. So I have 2 rest days a week. So this is definitely what helps me to stay physically and mentally in shape. And be ready for this kind of stuff. But another thing or another thought what came to me is I think especially when we have this big entrepreneur mindset and we have our high standards of our own, it's kind of an universal law that everything comes in season, and it's completely normal that we have a season where we can perform and we will have success and all of this stuff, and we are like flying in life. But it's necessary to have an autumn again, have a winter again, and it's completely normal that we will miss out a little bit. We will live more instead of progress more, and the other season will come again. And it's after the years now, I'm in my seventh year of being an entrepreneur or being self-employed. I saw this kind of different seasonings, and I'm not stressing out anymore so hard of being like, okay, you have to perform at peak level each and every day. I know there will come a season where it's necessary and it will come more natural and it feels more like a flow state, and it will come to a state where I will be more traveling, more relaxing, not being like trying to sell every coaching or taking up any opportunity to make money or whatever. And so this gives me more calm and more, life quality in general, I would say. Yeah. It feels a little bit wiser. I don't know.
It's a great point. It's such a great point because we do have seasons, and you said that so beautifully, because so many people think becoming an entrepreneur is you're on and there is no turning off, and you've got to be on, grind, doing all the things all the time, making heaps of progress, making heaps of money. Yeah. But every entrepreneur I know and I've talked to about that same cycle, when people are like that, they just go through super good progress, great, and then they hit a wall, they drop off, and they make no progress instead of actually embracing that. This is the season where I'm on my grind game and everything's happening. But then it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, you go through the seasons, and then it's like, this is just, maybe you're planting seeds, maybe you're doing some gardening of like, the foundational stuff, and you're doing this, and then you go out and you're hunting again and finding like all of the work that you need to be doing. And the funny thing is, when you talk to people who are new into becoming entrepreneurs, they're like, I got to do everything all of the time. And it's like, sounds great, but you can't, that's not healthy, right? So what would you say? And maybe did you go through that period yourself where you were like...
Yes, and this is a very, very interesting and good point. I hear this it was also on some kind of podcast where the topic was similar to that. And the saying, it goes similar to this kind of imbalanced kind of life where you like literally 100% of investing every bit of energy into the thing. You will not have a work-life balance, but at the beginning of it, it is necessary to have that, to make the progress what you have. But the people who are like established in business will recommend you, if you ask them for advice, they said like, yeah, work-life balance is key. But the point where they are at this stage is way more forward than you are currently. So I guess you have to make this experience of being like a little bit burned out because you are so stressed of all the things you have done and your schedule is overwhelming you in every kind of aspect. And then you make these lessons on your own. I'm a big believer in different kinds of learning lessons in life. So the kind of theoretical learning, when you learn through books or advice from other people, it's not that deep. But when you learn a concept by experiences with all of your senses, it gets down to you and you will learn way more deeper this whole concept, what you're trying to figure out. So for example, you can learn the fire is hot by seeing the warning signs, but if you have burned your hand one time, this is a different kind of learning. And I guess this is necessary for us to do that, because I see that our society just goes into learning everything's like theoretically, like YouTube videos popping up, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. We know everybody theoretically wise, but we don't know it properly because our experiences are not there yet. So it looks sometimes a lot of guys like they are bigger, have make more experience that they truly have made, because it's just a theoretically base and not this fundamental unshakable hard crown they are building on. So the best thing to be for me is like make the real life experience and go through the stuff, I guess.
Yeah, it ties back into your earlier point about failing and how it's a part of the process. And I loved that you just highlighted creating the unshakable ground with that foundation, because that's what those lessons do, And when you talk to people who are way further along in their journey, maybe they've started like multi-million-dollar companies, businesses and things, and
they don't
the lessons that they will
they don't know how it feels anymore to be like, I don't know, struggling with a bank account or whatever. It's like they are so far away, the advice of them, there's not like
people can get like ahead of themselves with it. You are absolutely correct, which is why it's always good to, seek out advice and seek out knowledge from people, because the best way to learn is like learn from other people's mistakes, because, if you can avoid some of the failures, like it's definitely encouraged, but sometimes you have to go through it to actually learn that, to get that foundational rock, as you say. I love that. That was wicked. Sometimes you have to learn it yourself, but then, a lot of people have gone through things and, study history, look at things and be like, oh, actually, this person did this, and this was the outcome. Like, how can I take those lessons and, get guidance and get mentorship from people who are still able to connect with the level that you're at, I think is a really important thing.
Yes.
And I'm curious, do you have a coach or a mentor or people that you work with to help keep you on track?
Yes. Like not in the sense of trackability, like checking in here and then, like on an systematical kind of approach. But I have one mentor, definitely in Germany. I met him. He was the founder of the gym where I studied back in the days. So I run through it's like a dual system of studying. I'm not sure if this is also a thing in Australia. So that you go to university at the same time that you're also working physically in like the area you're studying in. So for me, it was like working in a gym as a trainer and doing the studies in the university. And in this gym, the founder was his name is Michael, and he was a very, very smart business young man, and he was like very, very wise in his stuff he's doing. Since this day, I am in contact with him every once a year when I'm back in Germany, we catch up and we have like this little mentor meeting, I would say. He teaches me a lot about business, about mindset, about sales and marketing. Surely because he was my boss back in the days, but nowadays still because we are still in good contacts, and he's sharing stuff like this with me. Yeah.
That's cool. I love that you keep in contact with him, when you go back. I think that's really, it's nice. It's nice when you do find a mentor and someone that, you can go months or, even a year without seeing, and then you link back in and you can still take lessons to them. You can still ring them, lean on them. And
yes, 100%.
Oh.
It feels like old friendship. Like, when you have some old friendships you're not in touch with for years and coming back, and it's like no time has passed.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. So one question that I ask everyone on the show.
Yes.
What does Audacity mean for you?
Audacity, probably like having an unshakable confidence inside you that you will make it, and it's not. There will be some recorrections on your way, but if you truly have this audacity in you, the way you do your life, your business, whatever, you will reach it. It gives you this calm, cool, collective audacity vibe that you enjoying the way by walking it without losing the goal out of sight, I would say.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful answer.
Yeah.
I like that. Something I've always we've met on the internet, right?
Yeah.
But you can tell people who have and we were talking about this before we started recording, when you've got people who have a really good soul, and I love that you've been able, you share a lot of stuff about being really humble, and I love that you're traveling the world, you're doing all of the things, you've got a lot of success, but you still stay very grounded within yourself. How have you managed to do that?
Yeah. So I think, thank you for the flowers for the first. Yeah, I highly appreciate it. And I highly believe that, to be honest, I think we are all the same. Like, we are coming from this one, what do you ever want to call it, but from this one origin. And I just think we will end up, this is just a game, and we will end up all together again. So I don't take it too serious, to be honest. So I think just enjoy you stay here right now. And I have this intrinsic feeling of being always guided. This is what I maybe said before with this kind of confidence of everything will works out. And I think this gave you so much purpose in life that you can't fail. It's just just be the self you want to do, and do the things what you feel like doing, and everything will be working out in the best possible way. So I said it will work out always in all ways. So
It's nice when you do have that level of confidence and alignment within yourself that no matter what happens, you'll be okay, because that's a really go.
Yeah, I guess this is a point. We overestimate how much, and this can also relate to business, how much control we have about different things. And to be honest, everything's will work out how it should. And this was also a good quote. I believe in God, but you can call it universe or whatever. I think when you have something inside your heart, your soul, whatever, you have this gut feeling, God or the universe have placed this wish, this desire into your soul. And the God, the universe, will never give you this wish without the tools of achieving that. So in my understanding, it is yes, it makes sense that I have the desire to move out from little village in Germany to see the world, but God will also give me the tools of reaching that. And this gave me this kind of calmness in life that I don't stress out about, oh my God, I have to do this and this and this and this, because I know already that it happened. And this gave me not this energy of hunting the cat. So the cat is more I'm call and I'm attracting more the goals what I wanted to go for instead of losing my mind, just hustling and cramping on my everyday stuff by reaching them. Oh.
I freaking love what you just said, because you've highlighted a really cool point. When you have, like, if you, and I'm a big believer that, you know, we all have a reason why we got put on this earth, and it is that little fire inside us. And you just said it so beautifully. If we weren't meant to achieve that, we wouldn't have that desire within us. And I think when you become an entrepreneur, a lot of people's business journeys tie directly into that. I know mine does. And if I look at everything that I, like when I take a balcony view of my life, it's always comes back to that little thing, that little sense of injustice I have, that I'm like, no, I need to help everyone. And it's like, you got to lean into it. And that's the beauty when you are an entrepreneur, because you get to actually activate that and dive into it, because, you know, there's nothing worse spending all of our time and all of our energy working for the man in a company that we hate, doing a job that sucks.
Yeah.
When it's like, you know that you were put on this earth for something else, like go chase it.
Yes.
You know?
And yes.
What would you say to someone who might be sitting there at home thinking like, oh, I've got that little thing in me, like, but how do I get started? What do I do? What would you say?
Yeah. First of all, just do it. Jump in the water, do the things you want to do. But I'm doing this kind of, how to say it in English? It's like a backwards engineering, I guess. Like you plotting out a point where you want to stay in the next 1, 3, or 5 years, and then starting steps, doing actions, moving backwards from that. Let's say
reverse engineering,
exactly. Yeah, stuff like this. I think this is a very simple method to put it more down on a paper. Like you will start with an idea, but the idea is very like unprecise and you don't have a proper plan. So like I think every entrepreneur is a big fan of planning, of numbers, of data and stats, and you need that to have an understanding. Okay, if the way I'm sealing actually or I'm walking, is this in line with my goal, or did I move in a different direction? So you have to make it more calculative, and this backwards engineering is definitely a good method of putting more calculation, precise stuff on your journey. So I would say this at the beginning it's a point to kick off.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And it's a great way to structure it, because it's like, all right, cool, I want to get here, but how are you going to get there? You know, like you look at your bodybuilding journey, but before you prep and get on stage, you can't just wishful think that you're going to get super lean and be like, yeah, cool, it's fucking, I don't know how long prep takes. I should know this. I got friends who do it, but, you know, like 6 months away, and you're like, great, I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to change nothing and just hope that I'm going to be ready. Like, that's not how this works.
Now, this is also quite a good example, because bodybuilding teaches you so much about business, because like a bodybuilding prep, for everyone who's never who's not in that, mostly you have a stage weight, so you know roughly what you will weigh on the day when the show will happen, and you can also do then the back engineering stuff. So let's say, okay, my point right now is I am 20 kg above my stage weight, and I have to lose 20 kg in the next, let's say, 4 months. And then you can make a breakdown. Okay, how much weight I have to lose every single week or every single day until the show, and then the plan will happen. So this gave you also more security that you're on track during the process. So bodybuilding in a lot of aspects are very supportive of building a business mindset, I would say.
It does tie into the discipline element of it, because, and you've no doubt most people surely would have seen the reels and stuff pop up on Instagram. That, you know, like when you start a business, the person you need to be to have a successful business is harder than the business itself. And it rings true, because man, you want to be flaky in your business, flaky in your approach, do that. Like your business will expose that. It will just be with a torch. And you're like, hey, what are you doing down here? Like,
Yeah.
here are all the spots where you're sucking right now. You need to address it. Could have used better terminology, but essentially that's how it's going to feel,
that's
right?
the point.
So, you know, when you do learn discipline and particularly like taking care of your health, I think that's such a big thing that a lot of people miss as well, because you have a lot of people that go into business and, you know, not everyone's in great shape.
Yeah.
And you might be really good at the business side of it, but then you actually, if your health is taking a back seat, that's something that you need to address, because they work in harmony and you can't perform at an elite level if you're not nourishing your body, fueling yourself for peak performance. You know, you would know that from being a bodybuilder and all your training and stuff. But I see it so much when, you know, people who are absolute power horses and you're just like, I admire them. I admire their business. But it's also like, hold on a second as well. You know, there's still elements that you can improve. And I'm always the one to like encourage everyone, like a bit of a cheerleader with like, yeah, let's improve everything.
Love it.
It's the business improvement in me coming out. But where was I going with this? It's a really foundational thing that we need to look at. So, you know, I feel like it would come very naturally for you to look after your health and stuff. What would you just say to the entrepreneur who is an absolute power horse? They've got like, you know, you look at their data, they've reverse engineered the shit out of it and they've executed like fuck.
Yeah.
But their health has taken a back seat. What would you say to them?
Yeah, you will definitely pay the price later down the track. So this is a trade a lot of people have done or doing that. Like they paying health for business success. Like, but it's a temporary trade where you have to get the invoice later. And I see it each and every day, like working with like, these kind of people, CEOs, entrepreneurs, and other people who are very, very busy, doing a long time, focusing just on the little niche of life. Like we have different pillars in life, what you said before. And when you just focus on this one business pillar, we are just like, we're all humans. And we have limitations, our energy capacity. So we have to make a decision when I put this metaphoric example, like you having like water and you have to watering your different flowers in your garden. And too often the entrepreneur just flowers his business flower and it's flourish wonderfully, but the health flower, the relationship and all the other flowers don't get as much water as they need. And during the days and losing the focus on that, it will either leads up to the situation that they have to let the flower dies and they will miss out 20 maybe much more years of their lifespan, or they lose a relationship with a loved one or whatever. So I think it is very also important to have an understanding that our energy is limited and the other flowers also need water, energy in this sense. So this also comes down to what we spoke before, like having a imbalanced work-life balance just temporarily, but knowing that there have to become another season where you have to nurture your relationships more, your body more, and all of that. And it's not a problem to be, I would say, out of shape when you know you will be back in shape. But the more and the higher you get out of shape, and this is the problem where it creates a big mess and the dirt under the carpet gets too big, then it just takes more and more and more. So it's way easier to see, okay, there's a little bit dirt under the carpet, let's clean it, let's stay on track again, and then focusing on the other pillars and areas of life. So I guess like an awareness of that is very, very important, and taking responsibility, looking in the mirror and you see, okay, this is not looking good or healthy anymore. I have to do something, and doing the things to change that is very, very, very important, to do. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of accountability to recognize that and to look in the mirror, comfortable to say, okay, we're probably not.
We have to change
We're
something.
probably letting things get a little bit out of hand here. Maybe we need to rein it in, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And a lot,
Yeah.
that's a really hard thing to do when you do have a really successful business, you know, because you have people like fluffing your feathers, being like,
Yeah.
oh, like, look at how much success you've got in this. And you're kind of like, yeah, well, I don't need to be like fit and healthy, or I don't need to water these other gardens because
No.
look at the success I have here. But, you know, if we tie it back into like building that really strong foundation, if you don't water all the plants or all your flowers, your foundation is going to become ruptured.
Yeah, and this is, I think, yeah, it's a big problem, or it could lead to a big problem. What I see pretty often that when you reach a significant kind of success in some pillar, let's say business, that you starting to identify yourself completely with this person. So you say, yes, I am out of shape, but I'm a businessman when I look at my business. And this is such a lack of you lacking, or you put a limitation on your potential in improving life way more. So to put it down, like there's some numbers about it, but I guess if you earn, like I correct me when I'm not right, but 100K US dollars a year, the level of happiness doesn't improve anymore if you gain more like 10K a year, whatever. So your happiness will not increase by making more money, but probably when you are like an obvious or visual, like a fatter person, and you will lose a little bit fat, your life quality will improve like dramatically. And this is a big thing. What I think a self-reflection is necessarily. So down the track, and I also see that on my personal journey as well, goals in life will change. Nothing is permanently, and it's absolutely okay to redo this necessarily rechecks with yourself. So sometimes you are so fixed with your mindset, and you said, okay, this goal I have set 5 years ago, I have to reach that, and you're doing the actions, but you don't recheck with your inner true self, is this still the goal I want to go to? And this is sometimes an eye opener, and I think a very, very necessary thing to do is like this reflection of yourself. Are you still in line with the goals you're doing the daily tasks for? To make sure that you're working to the place where you want to go to.
Yeah, definitely. I like that you brought the point in about realignment as well, because life will happen, things will change. Sometimes, you know, you might deal with like grief, you might have a traumatic life event or an injury or something that happens, you know, like you just never know what life is going to throw at you. So being able to stop, assess, and then realign is a really good tool to use, but also be aware that it is there and you can use it at any point. It doesn't have to be during a moment of crisis or when things are like slipping up, because you know, if you're someone who's been single and you're like, I'm single, I'm just going to travel the world, and it's like, that's great, but then it's like, okay, your priority might turn around and be like, oh, now I want to have a family and I want to settle down somewhere. So it's like, or you might, you know, I did an interview with a lady who went through a divorce, and she's just now completely changed her trajectory of life. So
wow,
these things just happen and shift, and it's a very good tool to use, and know that you've got that in your pocket when you're an entrepreneur, and even just like being a human being, knowing that you can do that and realign your priorities and things. So
sometimes it feels like when you're doing this entrepreneurship and you're doing the self-improvement stuff, you just unlock more and more human skills, kind of. You starting self-improvement wise, getting a more skilled human, and it's just adapted to other parts of life. I love that.
Okay.
Nice.
I have one final question before we tie up the show. What is one piece of advice that you would like to leave our listeners with?
one piece of advice, just one.
Well,
I
you
love
can
speeches, but yeah.
encapsulate it in a
Hmm.
small,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Definitely follow your truth. What's inside you, you will feel it, and always um, act out of love, not out of fear. Mm,
amazing.
mm, Yeah.
That is amazing.
Mm, Yeah.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah.
Because,
Very,
I think, especially nowadays, when we see the world, we just trying to copy some goals of other people's, and we think like, okay, I have to be successful, I have to drive big cars, having expensive watches, living this lifestyle. But if this is not your truth, you will work out of fear because you think you will miss out something. But you can never fail in life when you just move out of love what you truly want. So you will ever be successful. Yeah.
mm,
No matter how success looks for you, but you will be successful.
yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point because success for everyone is different,
Yeah.
and that's the beautiful thing about life. We're not all striving for the same thing. And there's
Yes.
so much love and money and everything to go around,
Mm.
It's
Yeah. It's great.
yeah, it's
Life's
cool.
great. It's a blessing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an absolutely incredible episode. I've loved this. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Lucas, for your time. Before
Thank you
we
so much.
tie off,
Mm.
where obviously we'll put all of your details and contact information in the show notes, but where would you like people to go to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, the easiest, just Lukas.Stuen. And from there on, I will, answer everything.
Awesome. Cool.
Cool.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely wicked. And I know that our guests are going to take a lot from this.
Yeah.
So
It was such a great experience. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And love it. Thank you.
awesome. All right. Thanks, listeners. And we'll, put everything up and see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur.